If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name is Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. Hey, welcome into Fearless Flipping. I'm Kyle Stanley, and before we get to today's guest, I want to make sure that you are going to our subscriptions and also to the reviews on either YouTube or whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Make sure you are subscribing, and in the review section on the podcast, definitely let us know what exactly you're learning from this and how we can continue to help you to learn more about real estate investing and, of course, Airbnb, which we talk a lot about. If you're on YouTube, we would love to hear about your deals. What are you currently working on that you would like to share and what you're learning from that experience? Anything that helps our audience and our viewers to be able to learn more so that they can continue to conquer real estate investing. That's what we are all about here. Now, let's get to today's guest, Erin and Cleadus Shelton. They're here in the same office as I'm working in Fresno, California, which is the hub, and it's an investors friendly office here in Fresno, California, and there's tons of amazing talent here within the four walls and these 9 offices. But one of the things I love about Erin and Cleadus' story is that not too long ago, they're running from the law and they were dealing with addiction issues and all these things that anyone could have looked at and said, well, their life is over. And now you look at them and they are completely not only changing their own lives, but changing the atmosphere around Fresno. They are completely developing and redeveloping all these houses that's making Fresno more appealing and bringing more families to homes that they are loving and they're living in. So this is something that I'm very excited about. Plus, they actually helped me get into real estate investing. It was their story, their journey that really allowed me to say, hey, I can do this. And so that's why I'm excited for all of you to hear the story from Erin and Cleadus Shelton. Welcome in another episode of Fearless Flipping, and to my left is actually, I don't know if they even know, but 2 of the reasons why I actually even started in this business, because back in January of 2019, this year, when I was at a Fortune Builders event, I got to hear Erin and Cleadus Shelton up on stage talking about their story right here in the heart of Fresno, and I said, if they can do it, not only can I do it, but I know that others will be able to do it too. So you two have been a huge inspiration for me, so excited to have you on the show.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So really quickly before we get started, I know that you guys, have so many stories, so many things going on with your business, but is there anything that stands out as the most interesting or strangest real estate investing story that you've had in the 5 years that you've been around?
The strangest story. I would think that for the most recent part for us, one of our recent flips is that we're in the middle of is that it is a solid concrete bunker. And
Whoa.
I tell you,
Yes.
the ceiling is concrete, the walls are concrete. And when we initially walked it and did our rehab budget and stuff, we didn't realize that we weren't going to be able to move any of the walls or stuff like we had anticipated. So it kind of
Oh my gosh.
yeah, we had to backpedal and regroup and kind of.
So you didn't know it was concrete?
Well,
We
we knew some of the walls were concrete.
We
but
slotted for 70 LED lights in there, and a mansion has 50. So we wanted this thing lit up like a Christmas tree. So they're like, no, you get 10. That's all you get. And we have to frame in a cove in the ceiling just to get the majority of those.
Oh my gosh.
And the rest we're going to core drill, but we're not going to core drill through concrete ceiling this deep for 70 of them.
We're talking rebar, the whole works.
Right.
Wow.
It's probably the safest house in Fresno.
Right.
Right.
The
So, basically.
the cabinets were lag bolted, installed to the walls.
Yeah. So if there's a tornado in Fresno,
It ain't
we're
going
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place. And if you don't feel safe in the main house, there is a basement.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Well, hey, you learn something new every single day in this. You have to deal with one new problem every single day, it seems like, with everything. But what I want to do is, here in this first episode, we have a really amazing story to hear from both of you.
Right.
If you want to just kind of take us from the beginning, whoever would like to start, I'd love for our audience to be able to hear where you two have come from.
Well, I'll start off by just telling you personally that, 12 years ago, I was homeless and coming straight out of federal prison for my fourth time. It was my third violation, and absconding after a major relapse of drugs. And I was a floundering, lost soul, kind of in and out of the system for 20 years. And I had met Erin in 2005, and I was working in the pool industry at the time, and was doing well, was stable. I was running a pool company for a local pool builder, and then I started drinking and led into drugs and relapsing and violating probation and going on the run behind that. And Erin had went on the run with me, and that run lasted probably about 3 or 4 months, and I got arrested and was sentenced to go back to prison. And I got sentenced to 6 months prison and 90 days West Care, which is a rehabilitation program on the backside of that 6-month sentence.
Okay.
And through that process, I'd originally done a 5-year sentence in the feds back in 2000. My sentence started. That 5 years was easier than the 6 months because at that time I had nothing to lose because what I had was nothing. But when I got arrested this fourth time, in this episode was, did I realize I had loved something more than I ever knew what I loved, and I had something that I didn't realize what I had. And I was very grateful that Erin didn't give up on me. She followed me. She loved me. Gave me something I'd never had before. At the end of that 6-month sentence, went straight to West Care for a 90-day treatment. Got out of West Care and was kind of deciding where my life should go, what I should do. Did a lot of praying, did a lot of soul searching, and decided, you know what, I'm going to go to college and pursue a degree in drug and alcohol counseling.
Wow.
And I'd got my GED in federal prison back in 2003. The only reason I did that is because they were offering $25 to take the test. If you pass it, they'd give you $25. So what do I got to lose? It don't cost me nothing to take it. So I just sat down, took it, passed it, and at that time the light went off. Like, maybe you're not just a dumb convict that it keeps making dumb choices. Maybe there is some sense in there. So, it was one of the first times throughout my journey that I realized, maybe there was more inside of there.
That was what year?
2003, when I took the GED.
Wow.
So, fast forwarding to 2007, getting out and then completing the West Care program, and starting college in 2008. First time walking on campus, signing up for classes, decided to take those and just grinded in there and focused and, got straight A's first semester.
Wow. Got
back in there next semester, signed up for 12 units, straight A's again. At the end of it, 2008, 2012, 4 years, I was at 4.0 GPA, Dean's Medallion winner, Social Science Division. I was president of Alpha Gamma Sigma. I was Phi Theta Kappa. Any honors, highest honors you could get bestowed upon you within Fresno City College, I achieved them all. And, through that process, I was learning a lot about myself and, developing and growing and was started interning at West Care in 2009.
Okay.
Was an intern for about 2 weeks, and they offered me an AmeriCorps grant, which it was 1 year of direct services to the clients for a very less than minimum wage rate with a little bit of health insurance. So I took advantage of that opportunity, but I had to be dedicated for 1 year of service. I gave that 1 year of service, and at the end of it, they hired me as a counselor tech. The day that contract ended, which was in 2010, I was a counselor tech for probably about 6 weeks. 6, 7 weeks, and they promoted me to a counselor. I was a counselor for about a year, and I got promoted to program manager over all of our men's programs. And I was in that position for 4 years until 2016. And in 2016, I promoted to my current position, which I've been in for a little over 3 years, which is the Director of Contract Compliance, overseeing all their contracts in California, from the Oregon border to San Diego. So coming up from being a client in the program, in the bed, to up to where I'm at now. And, this isn't my end all. I will continue to, find that next piece and moving up. I've always been that type of individual. When I give 100% to something, I'm all in. So even when I was not doing right, I was all in, and that's, they tell you don't make a federal case out of it, but, that's just who I am. So It's either, if I'm doing good, I'm all in. And I'm focused and doing the right thing. I tend to do well. And today, obviously, I didn't. My story is that I didn't get here by myself. I give Erin all the credit. There was many times through this journey and process that she drew the line in the sand with me, kept my head on straight, kept me focused, and if, up until 2013 when we started real estate investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, I mean, amazing that you go through those personal things, but it sounded like that light bulb moment happened during that test where you kind of knew that you could do something,
Right.
and could open up some doors. So the eventual door that was opened up was real estate investing. So now I want to hear from your point of view. You meeting Cleadus, where you were at in your life, where you kind of both came together, the struggles that you had together, and how that eventually led to real estate investing. That would be great to hear.
So yeah, when we met in April 2005. We didn't get together till October. Um, I just kind of floated through life, part-time jobs, unemployed, just not really a focus on any one particular thing. So we met, and I was like, okay, this is great, and then, we both went on the run. I was like, screw it, I'll go with you, let's ride or die, basically. So I was the driver, got us out of some sticky situations a few times, and but eventually we were both arrested in my mom's front yard.
Wow. Can you tell me that story?
Yeah, so we were going to her house to pick up some, I'm type 1 diabetic. We were picking up some diabetic supplies because, being unemployed and on the run, we couldn't afford, my healthcare stuff. So we were driving into her neighborhood, and it was bordering Old Fig Garden. And, it's all county roads, so there's not a whole lot of lights. But we seen Fresno PD posted up on every single street. I was like, well, there they are. I was like, it's up to you. Do you want to go there, or do you want me to just keep going? And he goes, you know what? Just go. I'm done. I'm tired. Let's just go, get it over with. So we knew what was going to happen.
Wow. You're just pretty much at that point of being done running.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were both arrested. When they say don't make a federal case out of it, don't make a federal case. Because, I mouthed off to the U.S. Marshal, and
I can see that.
he got a little mad, and I was like, cuff me then.
Yeah.
So he took me in. They dismissed the charges, but I had to go through the whole process. My parents had to put up their house for my bond, and I had to go through court and everything, and they dismissed the charges, and everything was okay there. But there was still the challenge of, getting a job and, getting some stable income. So he got out of prison. That's when I really focused, getting a job. So I got a job at a construction company, was working, my way there. I was just a receptionist, but, I was learning a lot. I was like, hey, I want to learn how to read plans. I've always loved design. I've always watched, home flipping shows, whatever, on TV, so I just wanted to learn everything there was. So I was like, hey, let me write your contracts for you. So I started writing contracts. I started, helping with the bids and taking the plans over and turning in bids and, doing whatever it took so I could learn. Because at that time was 2008.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened, So September was my last month there, and they didn't know how to tell me that they were laying me off, but I was like, look, I could see we're not getting any jobs, we're not, there's no income coming in, so just tell me when my last day is so I could start planning.
Okay.
We had an apartment, we got ourselves a cute little apartment, stayed there for 6 years, had the best landlord ever. He really looked out for us and helped us, through our journey, and gave us a chance. And We'll never forget that. But 2013, we'll fast forward. My dad, sorry, I'm going to get emotional.
That's okay. You're allowed to.
My dad got sick and he passed away and left us his house. So that was our first rental property. He was in the midst of a renovation. We finished it for him, and I was like, okay, that was super fun. We need to do that full time. So I was driving to work one day and heard the radio announcement that Fortune Builders was coming. So I was like, oh my God, it's perfect timing. Like, this is what we're meant to do. So I told him about the 2-hour event. He's like, I don't know, he's the analytical thinker. I'm head first. Let's go. Let's do it. We're all in.
Right.
So I finally talked him into it. We were driving around looking at properties, just whatever we did on the weekends, just kind of messing around, goofing around, just driving around Fresno. So we heard the radio announcement again. And I was like, call. Reserve our spot. So we reserved our spot. We went. It was last part of December, the 3-day that we went to, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, So we finally, we signed up. We actually got to meet the owners because they were here in Fresno.
Right.
They're here from, they lived here. So they were here visiting. They were at a birthday party, and they actually came in and spoke at our 3-day event.
Was it Paul, JD, and Dan?
It was just Paul and JD.
Okay.
And I thought that was super cool. And then, they interviewed us, and our interview lasted for a long time because we just told it. He's like, look, this is what it is. He told the story, and the interviewer was also in recovery, so he really connected with us. And as I shared with you off camera, that I really love their core values. It's our core values, it's all about the people and, giving back. And
That's what brought me to it also.
yeah, and it was just, I was like, this is what we're meant to do, It's like, whatever the cost is, I don't care, It's like, I want to learn from the best. I want to be the best. I want to learn from the best. So we signed up, and we've been running ever since. That was 2014.
Hey, the story is, first of all, obviously, the adversity that you guys went through, and to be able to now fast forward to where you're at today, which we're going to give everyone a little bit of an insight of where EVC Homes is today, but to have those signs, the interview, or not the interview, the advertisement on the radio, it's that one time, and probably not gonna go, and then it's that second time, it's just kind of slapping you in the face, right? Like you just have to go. And I'm in the middle of both of you in regards to like the type of person that I am, because I like making quick decisions and I like going for things, but I also know that like I need to think things through a little bit to really go for it. But I had those same moments when I was at a Fortune Builders event. I walked in saying, I don't care what they're selling, I'm not going to buy it. This is all for education.
Right.
And 3 days later, I'm like, I actually had a family member of mine come in, and I said, you know me better than just about anyone. Tell me I'm crazy. And they said, you'd be crazy not to do this after being there for one day. And I think the values, like you mentioned, just what this business is all about, it fit me, and it fits you guys so well too. And hey, Fearless Flipping community, we are taking a quick break from the podcast to talk about Airbnb. For those of you that don't know, I have built much of my residual income around Airbnb. Despite a lot of other investors being really excited about long-term renters, I was not. I saw an opportunity with Airbnb to get to my goals faster, to get more cash flow, and to pay off my houses quicker too. So instead of being really happy like a lot of other investors are with $200 to $300 of cash flow every single month, I've turned my renters and rentals into over $1,000 on average of cash flow every single month. So if you want to learn more about Airbnb, my systems, where I pick my Airbnbs, how I communicate with guests. Maybe you've already got Airbnb as a business on the side right now, but you want to take it to the next level. I am absolutely here to help you. You can book a free consultation with me about Airbnb. Learn more by booking at fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and you get me for 30 minutes for free. That's right, 30 minutes absolutely free. And that's, once again, fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and I'm looking forward to helping you conquer Airbnb investing. So I want to fast forward to where you're at today, what kind of work you're doing, and tell me a little bit too about, husband and wife doing this together. There's not a lot of husband and wives doing this business together. That's got to have its own fun parts and intricacies too.
I think we make a really good team because he's the people person and I like to joke around, but I'm the designer.
Right. You're the creative mind.
Yeah, he gets the people moving and keeps them moving in the forward path, and I'm the one that picks everything and makes it beautiful. And I think with us and the team that we have built, all of us together working on, each project, I think that's what makes it so great and the way they, turn out.
Yeah, any thoughts on that too?
Yeah, it's when we started in 2014, we didn't do any deals for the first year. It was all about networking. It was all about educating. It was all about, building the business. Obviously, we ran a lot of properties, and we did everything that Fortune Builders and the systems and the processes tells you. But for some reason, we didn't beat a deal out of the bush. But that next year of 2015 is when we got our first deal. Mm-hmm. It was actually from another Fortune Builders, because we were really excited to get to that next step. To you read about hard money, you read about private, mm-hmm. you read about putting it under contract. You see, everybody else doing it.
You're like, I got this offer thing down. Let's get a
it's
deal.
like I want to go through that next process. It's
Right.
kind of like when we first bought our very first home ever with FHA in 2013. It was the scariest thing in the world because we had never done that.
Yeah.
But as anything else in life, as you experience something and then you walk out of that and you're like, okay, well, that was not that bad. So how do I do that again? And so it was like I was just eager to get that first deal. And we did. Once we did, we went through the process and, we got the hard money loan. We closed it. We had our rehab estimate. We had contractor. We were rehabbing. We, closed it, put it on the market, sold it, did everything that, it's textbook. But reading it in the book and going through the process, I'm the type that needs to go through the process.
Absolutely.
Physically.
Mm-hmm.
But because once I go through the process, I'm always learning because I'm always looking every day how I can improve or what we can do differently. And, that's just who we are as individuals. And, especially with our background of being, in recovery, and it's about self-reflection and, whatever doesn't work out today, there's always tomorrow. And, we have hope and faith and belief and, positive mindset and knowing that there's always support. We're not in this alone. And, so a lot of those things and those characteristics and beliefs carry over and transfer just from who we are as individuals in our daily life. We both work. Erin recently doesn't
Retired.
work employed anymore, but
Congratulations.
I
I'm
work
a
for a
free agent.
nonprofit. I work for Westcare, like I shared in the story, and Erin worked for Westcare for 8 years. It's a nonprofit, and our daily hustle and grind for the company wasn't about the money. It was about giving back, giving away what was given to us. And, believing in people when they didn't believe in themselves, just like people believed in, Erin believed in me and other people believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. They loved me when I didn't know how to love myself, and it's about giving that back because it was given to you and you know that it's important to help others. And, that's some of the values that, that are core to us in our business today. And, we did our first deal in 2015, and I can tell you, here we are in 2019, and we've flipped over 33 homes. We have 6 rental properties on top of a new home in Clovis. We didn't flip 33 homes by ourselves, and we didn't buy 6 rental properties and have a new home by ourselves. It's the people that are in our lives, the partners, the joint ventures, the relationships, the teams, all of us working together is why we have what we have. It's not that Cleadus and Erin did everything. We played our role and we did our part, but believe me, there's a lot of blessings and a lot of great people in that mix. Just like, knowing you today, and it makes me feel really good to know that we inspired you to get outside the comfort zone, do something you were scared or uncertain to do.
Yeah.
But look at you now, in the short amount of time.
Well, and if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have gotten in this business, wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel and podcasts.
Right.
And what you just mentioned there, fear, that's the reason it's called Fearless Flipping, is because I want people to have the courage to go out there and do it on their own.
Right.
And just like what you talked about, having that first experience of that first flip, that first deal, takes away a lot of that fear. I don't know if it was the same experience you had, but that first one, I didn't feel like I was doing enough. I was like, I feel like what do you mean I'm not supposed to be at the project every day? I'm supposed to go check in, right? Like contractors, like, no, we got it. And for me, it was, I tell people too, it's like, hey, 100% of your efforts, 90% of your efforts are really finding that deal, getting the money, finding the right team to put on it. And then during that rehab and the selling part of it, like, you're hands off,
Right.
Unless they call you and ask you questions, you've already done most of your job.
Right.
After they start bringing out the hammers, you've got the team in place to be able to do that now for you.
Right.
So it's really cool to.
It's the only way you could, we've had 6, like right now I think we got like 6 different projects going, but with full-time jobs and having 5 or 6 flips going at once, you can't do that without systems, without people and the right people, to be able to manage that. Obviously, we check in on our stuff frequently, because for us, we have built our business from day one about the end buyer, and we do care about the quality of the finish. We do care that everything gets to our level of expectation and standard. We probably go a little further and different than others, but I can tell you, by doing that, you can separate our flips from other people's flips. And Erin provides a design that most flippers that are in our area or in all areas don't have that woman.
It's unique.
Yeah,
it's very unique. It's good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we try to make them all, and we're very passionate about it. We care about the placement of the lights. We care if that light is going to fit the quality, the style of the home, and within those things. It's unique, and each one's special, and we pour a lot of love and care into every one of them.
We don't do cookie cutter. So a lot of flippers. I mean, and I'm not saying that this is a bad way of doing things, but it's just they don't want to put that time in. You're supposed to remove yourself and have your team do everything for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just they have like, hey, let's use this tile, this light, everything, these colors, and everything pretty much looks the same over the time. But I go in, I get a feel for the house, a feel for the neighborhood. I look at, like, especially the price point too. What price point are we going to sell at, in the end? So, every house is unique and different. There's some that, hey, just go put that tile that we put on this other project, do this flooring, this paint outside, and good to go. I've even sat at work and looked on the internet, said, okay, here's my trim color, and shoot it over to the contractor. It's like, I don't have time to go look at trim colors, you know? But yeah, the uniqueness and, just going in and looking at each project, I put a lot of love and thought into the ones in the Tower and the Fresno High area, because that's where I grew up.
Gotcha. Nice.
That's our niche.
And what you just mentioned there too is that what I think I love about this business is that you get to make it your own.
Yep.
Right.
I don't have the mind that you have. So, like, even my contractor says, hey, what type of tile you want, what type of trim? I'm like, I don't know, you pick. I don't want to decide that. There's a theory out there, like, that if you make, there's only so many decisions you can make every day. That's why Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates only have like 1 or 2 different types of shirts that they pick from every day, because they just don't want to make a lot of decisions. And for me, I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't want to make a lot of decisions. I want it to sell, and as long as it sells, then I'm good. So, if you're listening out there and you're thinking, well, I don't have Erin's mind. Well, I don't have Erin's mind either, and I know Cleadus doesn't have Erin's mind, and other people in town don't have Erin's mind. So some people do have to do that cookie cutter or do the,
Right.
the same thing again and again because it's what works for their business.
Right.
But for you guys, that's
And
your
it's
thing.
not a
It's
bad
great.
process.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. It's going to sell regardless if you just put good finishes in there,
Mhm.
you know, and quality work. But it's just, I like to
Yeah.
take it a step above, and
Absolutely.
We're always pushing the top of the end of the market, or it's either
we like to
it's,
set comps.
we're going pushing things to another level on every deal that we do. We've have built our brand and our reputation off of knowing when people are strolling through the MLS when one of our properties hits that it stands out.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
100% you're not going to see it like an Osborne or anybody else that has done the cookie cutter or even the new builder homes where they all look the same. Ours is going to be different.
That's great.
And that's because of what we have done from day one, and the amount of control we keep over that, and that's something that we will never give up.
Absolutely.
And that's because that's who we are. That's who EVC Homes is. And that's what we enjoy. That's where our passion is. Erin's design and being in the mix with the people, and it's just we love every bit of this business. From our private money relationships to our contractor relationships to joint venture partnerships, or just any and every aspect of this is all about the people and relationships, and that's we love all our relationships, and we foster them.
And that's what we're going to be talking about on the next episode with you guys. Is
Right.
not just the importance of relationships, but how it has helped evolve your business and how it's really been the way that you have become exactly who EVC Homes is today here in the Central Valley. So that'll be on the next episode. But what I want to back up to for a second is something that I want to make sure people did not miss. 1 full year of not having any deals and consistently putting out the action, the effort. That had to be really difficult. And I want to know, were there conversations in the household about, hey, should we be doing this, or was there never any question?
There was really never any question. We just kept saying, failure's not an option. We're going to keep pushing forward. It's going to happen.
Let me put it to you like this. Her dad worked 42 years for me and Eds. Very selfless man. He saved what little bit money he could and for her, and he sacrificed many years for her to have that for when he was gone. And when she made the decision that we were going to do this, and she wrote the check, and we burned the boats, we're all in, no matter what, period.
Wow.
And failure isn't an option, like she said. I can tell you the very first deal we did put under contract, we ended up getting under contract. We had our estimate, and we couldn't get the gap money because, so we had to cancel the escrow. At that moment,
Which we could have wholesaled out.
yeah, we could
Really?
have, but we didn't. But at that moment was the first time. It was a make or break. Were we going to quit, or were we going to keep going?
And we kept going.
And we kept going.
Never looked back.
Never look back.
And
So
4 years,
what we
33
did do
deals.
is we learned, and the conversation we had, we learned how to put it under, what it feels like to get under contract. We learned how to get the rehab estimate together. We learned how to, with the hard money lender, we learned everything up to that point where right before closing, but we couldn't close it. So we took the lessons as positive and learning, and we knew next time when we got it under contract, we weren't going to not be prepared to close it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a couple questions, just simple yes or no, and then I'm getting to a point here. But have you, in the 33 deals, have you ever lost any money?
No.
Okay. In the 33 deals, what is the lowest profit you've ever made?
$600.
Okay, you knew that right off the top of your head. That's good.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever made? Is it the
60,
one that you just sold the other day?
Well, that one's going to be, it's split between 3 partners.
Okay.
It's over. It's right at 100,000 profit.
Wow. And split between 3 partners.
Yeah.
Is
Us
that,
and 2 others. So
would
it's
that
about
still be your
33 apiece. No, we had one this year that we
Sanger.
made 35 apiece.
It was almost what I made last
70.
year on my W-2 job.
Okay.
We had another one in the tower this year where we made 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So have you seen more deals each year?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. This
We
is our
went-
biggest year yet.
Nice. That's awesome.
First year,
One.
1. Second year, 5. third year, I mean, the first year was nothing. That second year was 1. The third year was 5, and then it was the fourth year was 11, and then this year we're on track to do 20.
Wow. So I know everyone's heard this, but I have to put this out in the timeline here, because you went from homeless to figuring out that you were destined for more, to getting into this job where it's a nonprofit, and everyone is hearing your guys' heart, which is, I think, the biggest thing about both of you. And just realizing that you were meant to do more and that you could work your way up in something, but you had this aha moment of let's do something together.
Right.
And you fought through the failures, or the, not failure, but the adversity and the difficulty of not getting a deal that first year. And each year since then, it's been higher and higher and higher. You built up some rentals. You have 33 deals, and now this year on track to do 20, which essentially would be double your last 3 years.
Right.
That's an amazing story, and I just need people to hear that so they can understand that it's all about saying failure is not an option,
Right.
and building relationships.
Building relationships, and no matter what, we're getting up and not quitting.
That's great.
No matter what. And you know what? I just want to tell you, at the end of the day, we're very blessed. We have some key people in our lives that I don't take credit. I always like to give it away, because you know what? It's not about us. It's been about, I like to tell, like Wayne Rutledge, that man
We wouldn't be here
Wayne
without
and
him.
Rena Rutledge, Brad Hardy, there's so many people that as so significant in our life today, that when me and Erin started, it was very lonely for the first 3 years. Very lonely and hard out there. Nobody wants to loan you money, and no one everybody's watching to see who you are and what you do. Mm-hmm. But we kept our head down and stayed with Mark and California Funding and Hard Money, and but we stayed focused on our vision and our mission, and after about 5 or 6 flips, all of a sudden everybody was seeing what we were doing and producing and what we were putting on the market, and so money has been chasing us since then. Contractors chasing us, people chasing, because everybody wants to be a part of something that is good, right? Mm-hmm. So it's and it ain't just us being the whole part. It's about everybody that's a part of that process is bringing that piece to the table.
So good. Well, you both deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And like I said, inspirations to not just here in the Central Valley, but now especially just anyone who gets a chance to watch this. So Thank you so much for being on the show. How can people connect with you two?
Check out our website, evchomesllc.com.
Facebook, evchomesllc.com.
You're on Instagram as well, right?
Instagram, yes.
Cell phone, email, whatever.
It's on your site, right?
Yeah, it's on our website.
Check us out at the Hub.
There you go. Yeah, we're all at the same office down in next to Fresno City, which has been fun working next to you. And we'll also have that on the show notes. But is there anything, lastly, that you want to just leave our audience with here before we jump away?
No, hopefully, whatever reason sparked your interest to watch this video. Hopefully, you take from it is inspiration and hope, and that you can do anything you set your heart and mind to, as long as you don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
I like how as soon as I asked that question, you just looked right at him. You're like, I'm not going to take that.
Yeah, no.
And we're always here to help. Yeah. So if we can help you in any way, just like anybody else in the world,
Absolutely.
Let us know. Reach out to us, and we'll make it happen.
They've been a huge help for a lot of investors here in town, including myself. So Erin and Cleadus Shelton, thank you so much for helping our audience conquer real estate investing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Show notes can be found at fearlessflipping.com/EVC homes. And so what I take away from this is not only the amazing story that you hear from them of being down in the dumps and just finding a way to be able to pull each other up, work as a team, as a husband and wife team. I think a lot of husband and wives that are listening in right now definitely resonate with that. But at the same time, how about 1 year of putting in offers and not getting any deals? How many people would have quit not only after a year, but after a few months, after 6 months, after 8 months? I think there's lots of you out there that may feel that way, that maybe you're right now in month 3 and haven't gotten a deal, and you're looking around and you're wondering, why am I not getting deals? But he or she is. Just remember, Erin and Cleadus have been at this for 5 years. This is their best year yet. They're killing it. And year 1, they did nothing. So Keep that in the back of your mind as you continue to go out there and put offers in and continue to try to conquer real estate investing. We will see you next time.